Have you been looking in the mirror lately and thinking, damn, is my hairline getting worse? Have you started to notice some slight thinning or shedding that was never there before? And no matter how much you ignore it, or no matter what you do, it seems to just keep getting worse and worse. Bro, I get it. I was in the exact same position as you at 25. But after successfully stopping and even reversing my hair loss, I realized something. I realized that for most guys, hair loss is not inevitable, even though this is what we've come to believe as men. Unfortunately though, most guys just don't know this. They don't know that they don't have to lose all their hair once it starts, and they also don't know the real steps to fix it. But I do. So stick around, because I'm about to show you exactly how to stop your hair loss for good. So if you're like most men, you've probably looked at your thinning hair and thought, well, I guess I just got unlucky with genetics. There's nothing I could do. That's exactly what I used to think. I thought that my hair loss was purely genetic, something that ran in my family, and that I was destined to go bald no matter what. But let me tell you, that is a complete myth. Now here's the truth. Hair loss is not just genetics. And yes, obviously genetics do play a role here, but they don't tell the whole story. Because if hair loss was only genetic, then every guy with a bald father or grandfather would start balding at the exact same time, in the exact same pattern. But that's not how it works. You see, lifestyle factors play a huge role. And this is where most guys go wrong. Because when I finally did my research, I realized that things like diet, stress, hormone imbalances, and even scalp health were all major factors contributing to my thinning hair. When I was experiencing my hair loss, I wasn't taking the best care of my hair. And I had no idea that things like DHT sensitivity, inflammation, and poor scalp circulation were all accelerating my hair loss. But once I started addressing these factors, I saw rapid results. And I mean rapid, guys. And this is really the good news, because if you're experiencing hair loss, there are real steps you can take today to start reversing it. You don't just have to sit back and accept it. By making changes to your diet, stress levels, scalp care, and overall health, you can start taking control of your hair loss instead of letting it control you. So don't fall for the "it's just genetics" excuse. There's a lot more to the story. And if you start taking action now, you can slow down, stop, and even reverse your hair loss over time, just like I did. Okay, so now that you know that hair loss has multiple causes, you need to figure out what's triggering yours. That's why in this section, I'm gonna break down the root cause of hair loss and how to identify yours, so you can start taking steps to fix it. Now, number one on the list is DHT sensitivity. This is going to be the most common cause of hair loss in men. So DHT, or dihydrogen testosterone, is a byproduct of testosterone. For some guys, their hair follicles are genetically sensitive to it. In fact, this was the main cause of my hair loss. And for a lot of you guys watching this video, this will likely be the main cause for yours too. But don't worry, I'm going to show you how to fix this. So the reason DHT causes hair loss over time is because it actually starts to shrink the DHT sensitive hair follicles, which slowly makes your hair thinner and thinner until the follicle completely stops growing. So if your hair loss is mostly at the temples and crown, chances are DHT sensitivity is your main issue. Now, number two is nutritional deficiencies. If you didn't know already, your hair needs nutrients to grow. It doesn't just grow out of nowhere. So if you're lacking things like biotin, zinc, iron, or vitamin D, your hair might be thinning simply because it's malnourished. And as of 2025, around 24% of men have a vitamin D deficiency. So for some of you, something as simple as taking a vitamin D supplement could potentially cure your hair loss. And the way to identify if your hair loss is caused by a nutritional deficiency is if your hair loss is evenly spread out around your entire head, instead of just in the typical balding areas like in the crown and the temples. So if this is you, I definitely recommend getting a simple blood test at the doctor's to confirm if you're low on any of these key vitamins. Now, number three, inflammation and scalp health. This is the silent hair killer, because if you have regular dandruff, itchiness, or redness, your hair loss might be caused by poor scalp hygiene, clogged follicles, or just excessive oil production. And you can tell this if you start to notice lots of flakes or irritation when you scratch your head. If this is you, you need to fix your scalp health ASAP before it gets worse. Number four is stress and hormonal imbalances. Most people don't realize just how bad stress actually is for you. If you're experiencing high levels of stress often, like at your job or just in your daily life, this is spiking your cortisol, which can and likely will eventually start to disrupt your body's natural hair growth cycle. So if you've noticed shedding after a stressful event, this could be the cause. Now, if these stressful events are uncommon, this isn't so bad because hair loss from stress is often temporary. But if the stress is chronic, which means if you're continually stressed every single day, it can and likely will accelerate permanent thinning of your hair. So just to summarize how to identify the cause of your hair loss, if your hair loss is mostly at the temples or crown, DHT is likely the issue. If your hair loss is thinning all over, check your diet for nutritional deficiencies. If your scalp is itchy, flaky, or irritated a lot, fix your scalp health. And if your hair has started to fall out after a recent stressful event, learn to manage your stress levels. What you should really be taking away from all of this is that hair loss isn't random. It has a cause. And if you identify the cause, you can start reversing it right now. Now in the next section, I'm going to show you exactly what steps to take to stop your hair loss for good. But before that, if you have any brief questions, make sure to put them in the comments below. And if you're really serious and you want me to personally help you out with any issues you're having trouble with, sign up for a free 15-minute consultation with me. Also, if you want a free ebook that I made to specifically help you reach your goals quicker, make sure to sign up for my email list. You can find links to both of these in the description and the pinned comment down below. Let me ask you, what have you been doing to actually stop and reverse your hair loss so far? Maybe you've tried different shampoos, random supplements, or maybe you've even changed your diet, but you're still not getting the results you want. Well, the good news is that there are proven strategies to stop and reverse your hair loss. You just need to know where to start. Now, if your hair loss is due to DHT sensitivity, like we talked about earlier, then blocking DHT is the #1 thing you need to focus on. Before I started using a DHT blocker, I tried so many things to reverse my hair loss. And I'm not saying they didn't work at all, because they definitely slowed it down, but they never completely stopped it until I started taking a DHT blocker. That's how important this is if your hair loss is being caused by DHT. And there are 2 ways to do this. Pharmaceutical DHT blockers, the most effective in my opinion, being finasteride, which I actually take. Finasteride actually works by stopping your body from converting testosterone into DHT. But I should let you know that some people, including me, experience side effects. And if you want, you can check out what I experienced when I first started taking finasteride here and how I solved it as well. Now, if you prefer using natural DHT blockers, you can use things like saw palmetto, pumpkin seed oil, and green tea extract have also been shown to help as well. I personally have not tried these though. If you have tried these, let me know in the comments below though, because I'm actually pretty curious about the effects of them. Now, the next thing you want to take is minoxidil, which I should add is the only FDA approved hair growth treatment. And the great thing here is that minoxidil isn't just for people who are already bald. It works best when you catch hair loss early, and it works by stimulating blood flow to the scalp. This helps revive the shrinking follicles, which are the main cause of hair loss. So if you're serious about regrowing your hair, applying minoxidil twice a day, morning and night, can significantly help strengthen and thicken your hair over time. I personally recommend using minoxidil foam over the liquid because it's way less of a hassle compared to the liquid. The foam is a bit more expensive, but trust me, it's worth it because the liquid can be super annoying. It dries on your face, it smells. It's just not fun using every single day. Next, you're gonna manually boost the blood circulation to your scalp by using microneedling and a scalp massager. You're gonna do this because your hair follicles need blood flow to survive, like we've established in the past. Microneedling using a derma roller or derma pen at around 1mm to 1.5mm creates tiny wounds on the scalp, which then trigger a healing response. This increases collagen and stimulates blood flow to the area, or in other words, causes hair growth. Now, I personally don't do this anymore because as you can see, I've grown more than enough hair. But when I did do this, I microneedled my scalp once a week. And just a tip, on microneedling days, I would always wait 12 to 24 hours before applying minoxidil. Also, on the days that you don't microneedle, using a daily scalp massager, around 1 to 2 minutes a day for 5 to 10 minutes per session, will also boost blood circulation and stimulate your hair follicles, which will, over time, result in increased hair growth. Now, if your body is deficient in key vitamins, your hair will suffer. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna start feeding your hair from the inside out by introducing supplements into your diet. The main supplements you'll need are biotin, which mainly strengthens hair and nails, zinc and iron, which are essential for hair growth, Vitamin D, because low vitamin D levels are linked to hair thinning. Also, be aware that it's not as simple as just adding supplements to your diet. If the food you're eating is trash, you're basically sabotaging the work of the supplements. So along with the supplements, you also want to cut out inflammatory foods like processed junk foods. You know what type of foods I'm talking about. And if you can, cut out any excess sugar, which, if you didn't know, can accelerate your hair loss. On top of all of this, you want to implement a proper hair care routine. Bro, a good hair care routine is essential in general, and it's really not that hard to implement. Before I started losing my hair, I had no hair care routine. I would just let it rock every single day. But after learning everything I know about hair loss and hair growth, I've learned how essential it really is. So if you're unknowingly using products that are damaging your hair, or you're just not using any products, it's only a matter of time until that damage starts to show. This is why you want to use a mild sulfate-free shampoo to prevent stripping your hair's natural oils. You also want to apply natural oils to your scalp like rosemary or castor oil to stimulate follicle growth. On top of all of this, you want to avoid excessive heat and harsh styling products that weaken your hair over time. So now that you know about all of this, if you're actually serious about stopping your hair loss, start taking action now. Don't wait, because if you wait too long, it might be too late. Like literally, bro. The biggest mistake you can make when it comes to your hair loss is waiting until it's obvious before you do anything. By the time you visibly notice thinning, you've already lost a significant percentage of your hair density. And once a follicle completely dies, there's no bringing it back. That's why early intervention is everything. So if you want to keep your hair long term, you need to act before the damage is permanent. And the sooner you start, the better your results will be. Remember that hair loss isn't inevitable. It's only permanent if you do nothing about it. And if you want the absolute best results when it comes to your hair loss, I recommend you combine all the steps I mentioned in this section. Also, just to let you guys know, everything I mentioned in this video to help reverse your hair loss is linked in the description and pinned comment below. And if you're planning on taking a DHT blocker, make sure to check out this video next so you can avoid all the terrible side effects that I ended up experiencing.